Thank you all for joining us for the You and I Together series. This is our fourth installment of this series. If you haven't seen the past ones, those are recorded as well. So please feel free to go back and watch those. And of course, continue coming back. I believe we have 8 more for the summer series. So my name is Andrew Bingham. I am the co-host today. And what that means is I will be monitoring the chat box, helping troubleshoot if there are any problems, and knock on wood that there won't be any. But other than that, this will be all Melissa and her presentation titled Get Outdoors, Explore Valley County. And so with that, Melissa, I will go ahead and turn the time over to you.
Thank you, Andrew. I am excited to be here. I'm excited for this district effort in doing this weekly series. And so with all extension programs, if you like what you see or if you like this program, be sure to tell 5 friends so then they'll join us next week. And so I'm located 2 hours north of Boise. It looks like we have some other people joining us from Idaho Falls, Marsing, Ada County. Thank you for continuing to put your location and where you're joining from in the chat box. Let's go ahead and get started. We are highlighting some of the great work we do in Extension at the beginning of each one of these series. And so I'm excited to show you this 4-H video highlighting some awesome programs that happen throughout the state, and the drone programs happen to Valley County. So check it out.
Idaho youth are learning about science, technology, engineering, and math through fun, hands-on activities offered by the University of Idaho Extension 4-H Youth Development. From straw rockets to robotics and aerodynamics to drones, 4-H is preparing Idaho's next generation to solve tomorrow's problems.
Excellent. So as I mentioned, I'm 2 hours north of Boise. Valley County is a gorgeous county. It is about 90% public land, and so there's a lot of opportunities for outdoor recreation. And when you come to outdoor opportunities in Valley County, sometimes those can be developed opportunities and sometimes those can be undeveloped opportunities. And so I am going to be sharing a little bit today about how to recreate responsibly in those spaces, and then some of the benefits of getting your family outdoors and playing outside. And I'll give you some structured activities that you might want to try when you are outdoors on your next camping trip or your next nature walk. So Valley County is a smaller office. The programs that we focus on is community development, 4-H youth development, agriculture, and horticulture. And here is a picture of my lovely office staff. And so just highlighting some of the talent and extension professionals that we have in Valley County. I'm curious about your why. And so if you all would be happy to share in that chat box, maybe some of the why you get outdoors, or why do you want to bring your family out to explore, I would greatly appreciate it. And as people share in that chat box, I'm going to read them off and we can collectively understand our why we want to get outdoors and play. Looks like to improve your health, to get moving, increase mental well-being, and time away from the screen. Fun, new, and exciting. Enjoy the views, get to experience the outdoor. It breaks up a suburban routine, the beauty of nature, sunshine, clean air, jumping in rivers and lakes, vitamin D, mental health, being healthier, outdoors awesome. Very true, Elena. I believe in that too. Excellent. Thank you for sharing some of those why. I wanted to collectively brainstorm our why because you'll be more inclined to go do these things that I'm going to share if we all have a really firm understanding of our why. So in addition to all of those things that you listed in the chat, there's research that suggests that learning outdoors supports child development. And it can support child development by emotional behavior and intellectual development. It's also been studied that it might increase the sense of self, independence, confidence, creativity, decision-making and problem-solving skills, empathy towards others, motor skills, self-discipline, and initiative. And I have a young daughter, and I don't know about you all and what your family looks like, but if I could install those qualities in my daughter by outdoor play, oh my gosh, that's wonderful. And so there's some additional research-based reasons why you might want to get outdoors and play with your family. So as I mentioned before, some of those places when you get outdoors and play, they might be developed or they might not be developed. And if it's an open place that doesn't have a garbage can, there's something called like pack it in, pack it out, leave no trace. And so if there's not amenities there, then it's important for you to observe your surroundings and then adjust the way you recreate in those spaces. It's a shame when we go into our outdoor places and we see people that leave behind trash or garbage. And so respect the undeveloped campgrounds and sites and leave no trace, leave footprints and create memories. I think we've all heard that along those lines. And this is just a picture from a news station. This is not something that is specific to Valley County. I think this is something that happens across our nation. People, have expectations of having the utility of a garbage removal or recycling or whatever it is. And that doesn't always happen in rural places. And so being aware of how to recreate where you're at is very important. I recruited some friends in my neighborhood, some Valley County kids, to teach you all a game called Icky. And Icky is something that you can play either when you're leaving a campsite or leaving maybe just a place you had a picnic, or maybe it's a place where you arrive and there's a lot of trash. Maybe you would start off your nature experience by playing Icky. And so I'm going to go ahead and share a pre-recorded video with you of me explaining how to play Icky and then my helpers demonstrating how to do that. Hi, my name is Melissa Hamilton. I'm the extension educator for University of Idaho in Valley County. And I'm here today with some of my friends. They are some Valley County kids. And we are going to teach you a game called Icky. And it's a great game when you are leaving a campground or when you go to a place that you love and cherish and you want to be able to leave it as nice as you found it or nicer. It's really important to be able to get all of that micro trash. And so this is just an example of what micro trash might look like. Before you play this game Icky, it's good to set some ground rules. And so, maybe set a perimeter of where people are going to play so nobody goes too far, or goes off a cliff or goes into the road. Make sure that people know what they can and can't pick up. And so if there's things like broken glass or something that would be hazardous to yourself or others, make sure everybody knows what's safe to pick up and what's not safe to pick up. If there are things like cigarette butts or maybe some yucky stuff, you might want to have some plastic gloves for your own protection. So think about your PPE before you play Icky, and PPE is personal protection equipment. And so just play this game wisely when you're out picking up trash and micro trash, because you never really know what you're going to find. Great. So the way that you play Icky is that you're going to buddy up with a partner, and the person that says Icky first, they're actually not going to have to pick up the trash. So your friend will have to pick up the trash if you call Icky first. And so make sure as you're doing this, you're looking for micro trash, you're looking for trash that can fit into your bag. And just be safe. If there's something that looks like it could be hazardous to you or your friend, you don't have to pick it up. And so do you guys have any questions about how to play the game? Yeah.
What can't you or can't pick up?
So if you see something like broken glass or needles or like sanitary waste, stuff like that, toilet paper that's been used, these are all things you can find at a campsite. And those are things that you wouldn't necessarily want to pick up playing Icky. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay.
Icky, icky. I'm not saying stuff. Icky. Icky.
Okay, so we played this game for probably about 1 minute. And what did you find?
So there's a straw, salt, paper, soda can, firewood things.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. And so in a very short period of time, you found a lot of trash and some micro trash. What was it like to play that game?
It was kind of fun.
It is kind of fun, right? Like if you were to set out and just like go collect garbage, it wouldn't be that much fun. But when you get to tell your friend that they have to pick up garbage, yeah, it gets a little bit more fun, doesn't it?
Yeah. Especially when you get to tell a grown-up to pick it up.
There you go. That would be a great idea. Do the kids and the grown-ups and see who has better eyes for picking up the icky trash. So thank you all for playing the icky game. And till next time. Cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video and my helpers. And they were so excited about making that video. They're like, let's do it again. And I was like, okay, we'll see if this family learning series keeps going, then I'll recruit them for additional videos. They like their celebrity status. So I've shared a little bit about recreating responsibly outdoors and this leave no trace and picking up micro trash. And I've shared a little bit about the research behind why you should get outdoors with your family, the learning that can happen and the growth that can happen, not only for giving that as a gift to your children, but just as a benefit to yourself in stress relief is great. So if you go outdoors with your family, there's value in just having unstructured free time. If you're going to do that, it's nice to be able to set those perimeters and those boundaries, just like you did during the icky game. And that helps you as a parent feel a little bit of ease knowing, okay, they're free play, but they know their boundaries. And so that's a nice way to be able to create some peace for yourself with your kids doing free play outdoors. You can either just give them a visual boundary, don't go past that tree, that rock, or if you have kids that need a little more structure, you can buy just little cones and you can set up like a visual cone area. And we all know our kids and we know our families. And some people need more structure than others. And so even with all of these activities that I'm going to introduce you to, you're going to be able to know how it's going to work best for your family and how much structure and boundaries they might need surrounding each one of these activities. And so I am navigating my computer screen and my phone. And let's see how talented I am with switching between my Zoom screens. Okay, Nick, can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So I am obviously starting off in a backyard. And I think I just switched to speaker, so I hope you can hear me better. And so you can start, depending on how young your kids are, or if there's any fear of nature, because that does exist with people, you can start off in a safe environment like your backyard. And then you can bring this activity to an unfamiliar environment and do the same thing. And so this is called scaffolding. And so you introduce it, and then you introduce it in again a different way. And so I'm going to talk about 3 different ways that you can do this activity. And it's really simple. You just need a piece of rope and a bandana. And you are going to tie that piece of rope to trees. And you're creating a guided nature walk. And so you can do this during the daytime with your kids while they're blindfolded, or even your companion or partner, or by yourself, because believe it or not, it actually is really fun because we rely so much on our sense of vision that sometimes we forget to tune into all of our different senses. And so when you take away your sense of sight, you're really going to be tuning into your sense of smell and your sense of hearing and your sense of touch. And that's a whole new way to experience the world. And it is really a sensory delight. And so you're simply going to tie the rope to trees, and then they're going to feel their way along the rope and go to the next tree. When you get to each different tree, you can have people explore what the bark feels like, explore what the leaves feel like. You can ask them to share their observations with you as they're blindfolded, and using different descriptive words and adjectives. Is that soft? Is it rough? Is it pleasant? Is it scary? And so these are all really great skills for kids to be able to communicate their emotions and their feelings too. And so moving along that rope, you can go, to the next tree. And this one is not deciduous, but it's an evergreen. And so it's going to feel different. They can crush the leaves in their hand. They can smell them. And so prompting the people on this journey that are blindfolded to really tune into their senses is just a gift. And so this is actually 100 feet of rope. And so from your campsite, you could make quite the sensory trail for your kids. And along this rope, you can connect things like bells. And so you could be like, did you get to bell 1 or did you get to bell 2? And then you could connect some sort of blowhorn at the end. And it makes it kind of like a rock climbing wall with, an actual tangible thing to do at the end. And you also get to monitor where your kids are along that rope as they go through each obstacle and making different noises. And so it's a super simple, really fun activity. And I recommend doing it in your backyard at first, and then bringing it out into the woods. And then I recommend doing it at nighttime. And so doing a nighttime nature walk along the guided rope is a very cool way to get your kids to be comfortable outdoors at night without any lights. So do it with no flashlight, and you have that safety and that security of holding the rope, and they've done it during the day. They know what it looks like. And so they can do it at nighttime and gain their confidence and their reduce their fear that they might have of being outdoors in nature at nighttime. And I think that that's a gift, because it's a wonderful thing to feel at peace out in nature. And it's also a wonderful thing to be able to gaze at the night sky in Idaho. And so if you can get your family feeling comfortable outdoors without flashlights, then you can enjoy the bounty of that natural resource that we have in stargazing. And so that is activity 1, the guided rope walk. Does anybody have any questions about the guided rope walk before I go into activity number 2? And Andrew, if there are questions that come in the chat, can you help monitor that chat room for me?
Of course. No questions have come in yet, though.
Okay, thank you. And so the next activity that I have is going to be specifically something that I would call kind of a smell trail. And so you can create different scent trails, and you can talk about how animals and wolves or even dogs, that's all very relatable, how they communicate and create messages for each other by leaving scents. And so you can just use a cotton ball. I have these reusable canisters. There's just some vanilla here that I have, but you can get really creative, and you can use things like animal scents, that if you are a hunter, or if you go on online and search for beaver musk or fox musk, you can actually buy the musk of animals, and that's a real sensory delight. If you can imagine, it makes it pretty real and pretty fun. And so just depending on how elaborate you want to get with your sensory trails, you can find a whole bunch of different scents to engage your family. And so you can create those little bottles, and then you can leave them along trees, and then they can find their way, along this scent trail. And then you can leave prizes at the end of it. When they get to the end of the scent trail, maybe there's a jar of bubbles, whatever it is you want to reward your kids. Or maybe it's just the accomplishment of ringing a bell and getting to the end of the scent trail. So you can use different canisters. You can reuse some Easter eggs. And so you can leave Easter eggs at the end, of different trees. And that's another way to kind of reuse something that kids already love and adore and bring that outdoors and have little scents in there. And if you wanted to not have that visual and make it a little bit harder, maybe for some older kids, you can just take an onion and you can rub that on the bark of trees. And you can create a scent trail that's invisible, but very strong and very distinct, and have older kids run around smelling the bark of trees trying to find that onion trail. It'll not only be fun for them, but it'll be highly entertaining for you. And so that is my activity 2 of creating scent trails. Does anybody have any questions about scent trail activity? Okay, and if you have them and I keep going, just feel free to plug them into chat. And Andrew, thank you for keeping an eye on that. My third and final activity that I'm going to share with you today and is going to be tuning your family into plants. I did environmental education for several years before I came into extension work. And one of the things that I had the hardest time engaging kids in is being excited about plants. And that was so difficult for me because I love plants. And so you'd bring them outdoors and be like, bird, frog, turtle, squirrel. You know, they'd be so excited about the animals. And nobody would be like, wow, check out that tree. And that's where I was at mentally. So one of the ways that I found to engage kids in being excited about plants was to do these art prints. And so I'm going to show you an art print that I have started out in the yard here, and hopefully it works. I haven't done the actual art print in so long, so it's fun for me too to redo it. But let's check out my art print and see how that is progressing. And then I'll show you the packaging of what the art print actually looks like. And you can also order this stuff online or at any some retail stores like Walmart. And so what it looks like is there's this this paper underneath the plastic sheeting here. And so I'm just going to take it apart. There's what I tried to make a print out of, is my pine cone. Here's a plastic sheet. And in theory, this is going to be an art print. And so after you do the photo exposure, which is just 1 to 5 minutes out in the sun, then you have to rinse it with water. And then in theory, your art print would be there. So it looks like this might not have worked for me. I'm going to go in and look at the packaging, and I might need more water to rinse it with. So let's just say there might be a learning curve with this art print, but it does work, I promise you. And it might need something more distinct, like a leaf, rather than just this pine cone. So let me go in and show you what this art paper looks like. And then I'll show you what this project can produce. Well, I'm going to travel back inside, so bear with me as I navigate 2 different technology screens. So this is what the sun art paper looks like. And this is what you can actually produce with that sun art, is creating imprints of plants. And kids really do have a good time with this activity. And that is my third and final activity that I had to share with you to get outdoors. Any questions about those before I go into my wrap up and summary?
I had the chat up. Okay. So looks like Serene is just curious to know if anyone's ever tried the sun art before. Aside from that, just a lot of comments talking about how participants are excited to get outdoors and try these activities with their kiddos.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm a little bummed that the sun art, I didn't have maybe as much time to prep as I wanted to, but I promise you it does work, and like everybody really, really loves it. And so I'll have to work on my sun art skills. But we're all lifelong learners here, so that just creates more of a challenge for you all. And so in summary, there's benefits to outdoor play and learning. And when you do that, you can role model recreating responsibly. I know that for me, if I go to a place that has trash, I'm more likely to leave trash myself, and I'll admit it. I've gone to a campsite that had trash and maybe I didn't have the energy and I didn't pick it up. But we all know what the right thing is to do. And so pack an extra bag, pick up the trash as you see it. And if we can all help create a trash-free environment in our natural settings, then it will more likely continue to be trash-free. But once there's trash, people are more likely to leave more trash. And so picking up trash that's already out there will make a difference. Whether or not you do just free play with your kids outdoors or you do guided play, you can create some really long-lasting memories and a sense of wonder in your children. And that can just further that research-based learning outdoors of getting them to question and problem solve and troubleshoot and be curious. And so that's in wrap up of my Get Outdoors and Explore. And whether that be in Valley County or anywhere, just get outdoors and explore. And so I hope that you all continue to join us for You and I Together, our family learning series. This is a lineup of what's coming next. And so week 5, it's Healthy Breakfast on the Go. And thank you, Andrew, for plugging in the link on where people can sign up for these additional classes. And we'll be doing this until August 17th. And so like I said at the beginning, if you like these, tell 5 friends. And did you know that UI Extension has a statewide calendar? And on that calendar, you can search online classes. And extension educators from around the state are now offering online classes. And so there is abundant resources for online learning through extension that's either free or very affordable. And so you'll see there's invasive species, there's drip irrigation, there's financial success class. That one's on the next week page. So check out our state calendar with UI Extension. And Andrew, thank you for plugging that link into the chat. We need to have your feedback. We need to know you like what we're doing and how we can improve it. And so please, I encourage you to fill out the survey to give us that feedback. And so thank you so much for doing the poll, that survey, and we look forward to seeing you at future You and I Together programs. Have a great afternoon.